When I reviewed Fallout 4 in 2022, I described it as being a great canvas, which can be moulded into whatever game you want by installing mods. And the mods that have come out this past year prove exactly that. And so, here's 10 great mods which released over the past year. These are in no particular order, and it's a mix between the most popular and what I personally enjoy the most. So I love the idea of Fallout 4 survival mode, but the one released by Bethesda leaves a lot to be desired. And the mod Advanced Needs 76 offers what I always hoped for. It brings a huge list of new survival features, and it's too long to go through all of them now. But overall, the mod has you taking better care of your character with new health systems. So you need to look after your hygiene, look out for diseases, food poisoning, on top of all the usual hunger and drinking mechanics. But perhaps my favourite aspect to this mod is how you can interact with the world, as you can now tend to crops, go fishing, chop trees, milk Brahmin, and more. Just a lot of things that make sense for someone trying to survive in the post-apocalypse. And to top things off, almost every feature can be toggled on and off in the mod menu. I'll be surprised if there's any top 10 videos like this one that doesn't have Point Lookout on there. It's just easily one of the most impressive quest mods to date. It takes the Point Lookout DLC from Fallout 3 and simply puts it into Fallout 4. Except it would be illegal for the mods to reuse assets from the original, so everything had to be handcrafted from scratch. So every building, weapon, character, audio, and more was all made just for this mod, and the dedication really shines through. It offers the same great quests and ambience as the original, refitted to work in the context of Fallout 4. So yeah, it's a retelling of a beloved DLC that all works perfectly. So ENBs are something which update the graphics, with new shadow techniques, colour correction, post-processing effects, and a bunch of other stuff I'm not smart enough to talk about. And for years, I'd usually grab one of the most downloaded that released long ago, and I'd be happy with it. But then came Reactor ENB, which uses the most modern ENB effects to make Fallout 4 look as impressive as possible. It's basically the whole reason my game looks like this. Now sure, ENBs are very much a personal preference thing, as I know some people enjoy a darker look, or something more gritty. But I feel like Reactor deserves a place on this list for being one of the first ENBs in a while that really feels like it modernises the game, especially as it pairs with many of the best lighting and weather mods found in modding. I found Fallout 4's companions to be a huge step up from Skyrim's, but it's obviously not perfect. Once you've had a few conversations with them, you'll start hearing the same lines repeated over and over again, and that's where the Companion Thoughts Overhaul comes in. It adds a cooldown between certain companion dialogues, so you'll stop hearing them repeated. And while that's the main purpose of the mod, my favourite aspect is that it means rarer lines of dialogue have a far better chance of being spoken. There are many things companions can say which are reliant on specific scenarios to trigger them, and this mod stops them from being overridden by the usual lines. Fallout 4's optimization is terrible, and while modern hardware can handle it well, most people experience frame drops in dense areas no matter their setup. And so, whenever a performance mod releases which gives a notable improvement, the modding community celebrates, and Shadow Boost is one of those mods. What it does is dynamically adjust your shadow resolution and draw distance on the go, which are very performance-intensive settings that you usually have to adjust before starting the game. So this is an extreme example of it here, but as you can see, my shadows are adjusting themselves as I walk around Boston, so I maintain a steady 60 FPS. And while yes, it can be very noticeable, the majority of the time the adjustments are very subtle and something you rarely notice. So yeah, definitely worth it for the FPS boost. Going back to more survival-based mods, Maim overhauls the game's damage system to be far more deadly and impactful, depending on whereabouts you shoot. So for example, hitting an enemy's arm will deal less damage, but you have the chance to make them bleed and go down from blood loss. And if you or an enemy is hit in the head without a helmet, it's almost guaranteed to be lethal. But the damage changes aren't all, as a plethora of new medical items can be found across the world, such as surgery kits for broken limbs, tourniquets for bleeding, tablets to alleviate pain side effects, and more. It's one of those mods that force you to really think before entering a fight, as running in head first will likely be fatal. But on the flip side, a carefully executed plan can wipe out a camp of enemies with relative ease. On the surface, Gun for Hire is a quest mod that adds bounties into the world for you to hunt and collect. But really, this mod is so much more than that. It allows you to run a business from your very own office, where you can take on jobs from new NPCs, and even hire people to work with you. And the jobs themselves aren't always simple fetch quests, as there are 27 quest variations, with each having random outcomes and branching storylines. It's just one of those rare quest mods that fits seamlessly into Fallout 4, as popping over to accept a new bounty every now and then provides satisfying side content to break up the familiar quests. While you can make Fallout 4 appear modern, NPC behaviour is one of those things that can really date a game, and that's where Fallout 4 AI Overhaul comes in. As with this mod, the day-to-day life of NPCs will be far more varied, with new schedules and idle actions around towns and public areas. They'll also seek shelter during harsh weathers, and react more rationally when there's danger. So for example, a single red roach entering Diamond City won't cause every single person around to pull out their gun and open fire. It's just a nice lightweight mod that works well in the background of any mod list. One of the biggest aspects to Fallout 4 modding is new weapons, and the Rifle Rebirth mod is easily one of the best releases. It includes 6 new weapons which are distributed across the world, each having detailed models, high resolution textures, and a ton of customization options. Plus they're all lore friendly, making it one of the best weapon bundles you can find. It's just all incredibly high quality and seamlessly fits into the game. There's the IF-54 battle rifle, the LR-72 combat rifle, the TMP-45 submachine gun, the TD-64 assault rifle, the big ol' IFAM-50 anti-material rifle, and even a WH-77 light support weapon, which is a type of weapon that doesn't get enough love in modding. While new skins are coming at a later date, this mod really has everything you could want in a weapon pack. Bullet in the Chamber is a very recent mod, but has quickly become a must-have for me. It makes it so when you reload, the ammo that was left in the magazine will drop to the ground, instead of magically staying in your weapon. Most first-person shooters have this mechanic, where reloading doesn't remove the unused ammo, and most of the time it makes sense, because it would be a chore to keep track of bullets for every gunfight. However, in the world of Fallout 4, ammo is a precious and rare thing that should be used sparingly. So with this mod, you actually need to think before reloading to make sure you aren't wasting any valuable bullets. And as a bonus, this mod adds hotkeys for changing fire modes, checking ammo counts, and lowering weapons, as well as the ability to keep a single round in the gun when you reload, as with real-life weapons. Also, before wrapping up, it's worth noting you can even use the ammo boxes to mags mod in tandem to make the dropped ammo look more appropriate. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a like as it helps the channel grow. And I think I'll be doing a top 5 mods of the month type deal going forward, so look forward to that. Also apologies if I sounded off, I have a croaky throat and am ill, so recording this took a long while. Also, I have a Twitch where I plan on streaming at some point, and a Discord if you want to talk about mod stuff or anything else. Other than that, big thank you to my Patreon supporters, Rook, Alec Bentley, Emperador Wolf, Jack Ma, and Christian Howell. Your contributions are allowing me to make more videos more regularly, so thank you so much. And I also have a Ko-fi account if you want to give a little one-time donation. And thank you everyone, and farewell.